All right, gang, let's go ahead and get started for a fresh new week of Park and Wildland Management. Welcome back. Okay, so we have kind of a lot going on. We spent some time last week kind of moving through and beyond the sense of kind of what are the inner workings, the machinations, what's the process by which our visitors tend to think about visiting your national park or other protected areas for the function of forest and outdoor recreation. I mean, all the attitudes and perceptions and beliefs and perceived behavioral control leading to intention and motivation and behavior. And then the behavior leading to things like, hopefully, obviously, enjoying the benefits of whatever the activity is at your national park, but also some unintended side effects, maybe some negative impacts, things like on the human or the social side of the equation, things like crowding. I spent some time on Monday last week, a week ago, talking about crowding. And then conflict. What happens when you have multiple visitor groups on site and they disagree with how each other group is doing things, or they're feeling like they're blocked in realizing their motivations by the other groups realizing their motivations on site, their behaviors and using resources and so on and so forth. We talked about how crowding and conflict can lead to a trio of impacts like displacement, leaving temporarily or long term, or displacing in time, right? Visiting at an off-peak hour, maybe, or an off-peak season. We talked about how there is rationalization, people making ill-considered choices to revise their mental model of what reality is actually like if their expectations aren't being met. We also talked about the particularly difficult and insidious side effect or impact of poorly managed crowding or conflict, product shift, where the national park that we visit in 30 years from now is unrecognizable relative to the national park, that same place, maybe we visited 30 years ago as a family, something like that. Okay? Cool. So, that's a lot. It's kind of heavy. So let's get into now kind of the more applied on-the-ground management preparations and responses to how do we face these things? How do we deal with them? How do we help our parks and our visitors enjoying those parks cope with the potential for those impacts and their side effects? Okay? So chapter 13 of our textbook, I believe it's chapter 13, talks about a fourfold strategic approach. And this is going to show up all throughout the rest of the semester. And in so many words, they don't always call it out under these terms, but the general management plan, the trails management plan, the interpretive plan, visitor communication plan, and all of the other sub